Count on LEX 18 News.
The numbers continue to rise. We have the newly diagnosed COVID-19 cases in Kentucky. Plus, is the worst yet to come? The predictions from the coronavirus task force about the American death toll. And who could now take advantage of food banks in the state during this uncertain time? Good afternoon, I'm Nancy Cox. Thank you for joining us at 4. We're about an hour away from the governor's latest coronavirus briefing. We'll bring you that, of course, coming up at 5 o'clock. But so far, the state confirms 591 cases and 18 deaths. Now, here's a look at the counties reporting confirmed cases. Much of eastern Kentucky has been spared so far, but the Pikeville Medical Center is reporting an employee and a Perry County resident have been diagnosed. Fayette County is reporting 6 new cases today for a total of 116. 2 of those patients have died. About 25 have recovered. As for the national figures, there have been more than 189,000 cases reported, more than 4,000 deaths, and more than 7,000 patients have recovered. Of course, as I said, in about an hour, the governor will update us on new cases in Kentucky. But yesterday, he made it clear it was a tough day for the state. We had our biggest increase in the number of cases and, sadly, our biggest increase of deaths. LEX 18's political reporter Karolina Buczek is working remotely. She joins us live with the latest.
Well, yesterday was definitely a tough day for Kentucky, our toughest one so far. And the governor said it likely won't be the only bad day we have. So let's take a look at the numbers. So we had 114 new coronavirus cases yesterday. That brought our total to at least 591 cases. And we're also up to 18 deaths related to the coronavirus. And 7 of them were reported in one day alone. And that was yesterday. The governor says all of them had other medical factors that played a role as well. But this is what the governor has been talking about. These are the people that the state is trying to protect. So he wants everyone to make better choices right now.
Let's commit. We are going to do the things that it takes to make sure we don't have a lot of days like this. This is a virus that will come for our most vulnerable, and we got to make sure that we are standing there protecting them. That each and every one of us in our decisions and in our actions, when we do the right things, protects folks that are out there. Every time that we stay at home, healthy at home, instead of making a decision to do something different that would spread the virus, is protecting people. And as we see today, losing 7 people, the consequences can be real significant.
So in about an hour, we'll have new numbers to report, the numbers from today. But even if we have another bad day, the governor said yesterday that we really can't let these bad days defeat us, because he says the steps that we are taking, they are making a difference. He says while other areas are having much higher numbers, ours are staying where they are. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Karolina. Business is anything but usual at the Capitol today, where lawmakers passed a 1-year budget to keep Kentucky up and running during the pandemic. LEX 18's Conroy Delouche has more from the Capitol.
Interesting. That's the way that today has been described to me by lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, and it's certainly unlike any in recent Kentucky political history. The House gavelled in at noon, and then with no more than 25 members at a time inside the chambers, collected their ballots and left the room.
We're going to watch the proceedings on KET like everybody else, and then we're going to call a designated person in leadership and let them know what our votes are.
Most of the Senate was inside their chamber today as they met to discuss the budget, all acknowledging how different circumstances were when the budgets were proposed in the recent months. Cuts were going to be stopped and there would be raises, but now everything has changed. However, a budget still needs to be passed.
If you really think about what we're doing, we're taking a shot in the dark. A total shot in the dark.
Republican Senate President Robert Stivers told the chamber he did think about voting no.
Now, if you think what we have budgeted to, about $11.6 billion, our current year revenues will probably be lucky to hit $11.4 billion.
He did end up voting yes, as did Senate Minority Leader Morgan McGarvey. The Louisville Democrat echoed sentiments that this is not a perfect budget, but is pleased that Medicaid and teachers' retirement funding was not cut, and cuts to public health were also removed.
The time we must pass a budget, no days remaining. I think that this is one we should look at passing.
The Senate did unanimously approve the budget, showing the unity that's needed in Kentucky moving forward. In Frankfort, Conroy Delouche, LEX 18 News.
The House eventually passed the budget bill by a vote of 80-10. Conroy will have more details on the budget coming up tonight on LEX 18 News at 6. Most Americans are beginning at least another month under the Trump administration's social distancing guidelines, even with at least 80% of Americans living under stay-at-home orders. The White House Coronavirus Task Force is projecting between 100,000 and 240,000 deaths across the country. Karen Kafa has the latest from Washington.
April 1st begins a new month in the U.S. coronavirus fight, with healthcare workers in the hardest hit states like New York already under strain.
Waking up in the morning and walking into the hospital can feel like walking into the fire.
Vice President Mike Pence, after touring a Walmart distribution center in Virginia working to send out food and supplies, said this month is critical.
Some of the early indications from states around the country is that what the American people have done so far in our first 15 days has made a real difference. But the next 2 weeks, the next 30 days are vital.
Social distancing guidelines are extended through at least April 30th. A peak in the nation's daily death toll is forecast mid-month. The majority of the nation's governors have issued stay-at-home orders, but in some states like Florida, where such an order was declared to take effect Friday at 12:01 a.m., local officials acted first.
Governor and I speak every day, and he supports the things that we're doing here. He knows that the things that we're doing here are important. We closed our beaches, we closed our parks, we closed all non-essential businesses, and we did that some time ago.
Vice President Pence said Wednesday a national stay-at-home order isn't necessary right now, and the administration is optimistic the nation could be back to business by early June. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
If you take a careful look at Kentucky's list of essential businesses, you'll notice bicycle shops under transportation. LEX 18 Sophia Millar shows us how these stores are keeping Lexington moving.
Workers at Bicycle Place are staying busy.
It's been interesting. There's twice as many bikes in the shop, but no people.
While Governor Beshear shut down non-essential businesses last week, the state agreed bicycles serve a bigger purpose than recreation.
But I know it's a lot of people's primary means of transportation, so I'm really fortunate that we were able to stay open at least in a service capacity.
Store manager Daryl Hall says online sales are up and people are still coming by for repairs, but they're not letting customers inside.
The door's open, but there's a piece of cardboard in the way. It's confused a couple people.
Bicycle Place owner Nate Cornelius says they've reduced staff and are working to keep up with the influx of repairs.
People have been really understanding, really. I mean, it's been pretty impressive.
Cornelius says he's grateful he can keep his doors open, and they're doing everything they can to keep it that way.
When people bring their bikes into us, we're pretty diligent with wiping them down with disinfectants. We're doing a lot of hand sanitizers. We're cleaning all the surfaces.
In Lexington, Sophia Millar, LEX 18 News.
In Lexington, restrictions have been enforced on some public spaces, but many hiking and biking trails remain open. People are encouraged to get outside, but continue practicing social distancing. Governor Beshear is gaining fame on social media, and now some of the governor's most popular quotes are now front and center on so-called Beshear gear. Everything from t-shirts to mugs and magnets. Whether it's the Next Slide Kenneth t-shirt or the We Can't Be Doing That tote bag, the proceeds from the items go to Kentucky's COVID-19 relief funds. If you'd like some Beshear gear of your own and help support the cause, just check out the story on our website, lex18.com, for a link. The connection with customers and the community is so much of what makes small businesses thrive, so the lack of interaction right now is making it tough. Today we're highlighting how a clothing and accessory boutique in Richmond is still serving its customers. LEX 18's Angie Beavin joins us live over FaceTime with a look at today's We're Open Kentucky. Angie.
Good afternoon, Nancy. Yes, thankfully, online shopping and ordering is enabling a lot of shops to stay on their feet. In today's We're Open Kentucky, we get to tell you about a boutique in Richmond, and that's where the owner has shifted everything to online shopping. Adorabelle's Boutique just celebrated 5 years in business on 2nd Street in downtown Richmond. On March 16th, the store owner, Devin Johnson, made the tough decision to close down the store. She knew it was the right thing to do at the time, and she has since focused all her energy on getting her website full of all of the merchandise they have in the store. She is busy filling orders and shipping packages. It's certainly a change of pace for her and for her business, but it's one that she is very thankful to be able to do. And since Devin and her employees are not able to have those in-person interactions that they really value as a small business and as a boutique shop, she is doing something a little extra when she sends packages to people with their orders that they got from her store. We'll be sure to tell you all about that coming up in our full story tonight at 7 o'clock on Evening Edition. Nancy, back to you.
We look forward to that. Thank you, Angie. You have to be creative these days. If you have a business or restaurant that's open and adapting to a new way of serving customers, we'd like to share your story. Head on over to our website, LEX18.com, and there's a form there you can fill out. Or if you've missed one of our We're Open Kentucky segments, we have all of them at LEX18.com/open. The Kentucky Department of Agriculture is temporarily relaxing income requirements through April 30th to allow more Kentuckians to receive food from food banks during the COVID-19 pandemic. Ag Commissioner Ryan Quarles says people have more to worry about than where their next meal will come from. The KDA requested an increase in income guidelines from 130% of the federal poverty level to 185%. to qualify to get food through the Emergency Food Assistance Program. The KDA will continue to assess the impact of COVID-19 and consider an extension request at the end of April. Well, there are a lot of people who are hurting during the shutdowns right now. That's why LEX 18 and the Scripps Howard Foundation are teaming up with God's Pantry Food Bank for the Hope Over Hunger Project. We at the station are encouraging businesses to consider matching our $10,000 donation to help the hungry. If you need help or would like to support the cause, go to our website on your screen there, lex18.com/hope. Today was supposed to be the official start to the U.S. Census, but that's been delayed like everything else. The U.S. Census Bureau would normally be ramping up to hire 500,000 census takers, but that process has been pushed back because the Bureau had to suspend field operations. The census is taken once every decade, according to federal law, to count every person in the United States. Now that determines representation in Congress and the amount of federal funding each congressional district receives. Bureau leaders say they're laser focused on meeting the year-end deadline. You can respond to the census online, by phone, or by mailing in the 2020 census form. They are everyday heroes we see right now, and now they're getting even more recognition. The honor from Kroger to its hard-working frontline employees as they help us all survive the coronavirus outbreak. That's next.
Unfortunately, schools have been canceled, but the learning doesn't stop. That's why we've moved Bill's Weather 101 to at home. Check it out at lex18.com.
Bill's Weather 101, sponsored by Kids Place Adventure Playground.
I'm John Morgan. If you've been injured on the job, call Pound Law from your cell phone. Morgan & Morgan, Pound Law, that's all.
If you're tired of doing this, climbing a ladder, putting your hands in that gunk to clean out the gutters, don't do it anymore. Get Leaf Guard, the gutter that never clogs, guaranteed with a lifetime transferable warranty. And take advantage of our spring blowout sale. 65% off labor. A bonus, a free leaf blower with purchase if you call now. And we're going to double your gift with estimate if you call during this program, from a $50 to $100 Restaurant.com gift card with your estimate.
I am a real customer of Bryant Heating and Cooling, and I have been now for 11 years. Why do I do this? Because Bryant has always been here for me. I've had units go down, but when I called them, they were here, and they never left my home until I was comfortable. My system gets regular maintenance to keep it running efficiently. I know that my air conditioner is going to perform its best, even in the worst conditions. But if it doesn't, Bryant will be here. That's why I do this.
Attention! The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services has officially authorized new benefits that Medicare Advantage plans may include. To get the benefits you deserve, you can call the Medicare Coverage Helpline.
Hi, I'm Joe Namath. If you're on Medicare, this is important information. I called the Medicare Coverage Helpline and they instantly looked up my coverage. In this one simple call, they offered to enroll me in a plan that includes rides to medical appointments, private home aides, doctors and nurses' visits by telephone, and even home-delivered meals. The plan also includes dental, vision, hearing, and prescription drug coverage, all at no additional cost.
Don't delay. Call to see if the new benefits are available in your area.
Call the number on your screen now. It's free.
Call 1-800-993-8581. That's 1-800-993-8581 now.
We're all facing unprecedented challenges because of the coronavirus. So now more than ever, we need to work together as a team. Team Kentucky, practicing social distance without being distant, keeping in touch with family, friends, and neighbors. It's just one more way to go all in as Team Kentucky.
Wasn't the prettiest day today. Better than yesterday, though, at least from these clouds that we've had around. Haven't had to deal with any rain out of them. From the Lexington Financial Center, pretty good stratocumulus deck has been sitting over us today. A lot of cold air aloft creates that instability, which creates those puffy gray clouds, and they have pretty well ruled the day. Now they may start thinning some as we head towards sundown. Max Track Live Doppler might be a sprinkle coming out of a few of those clouds. You look toward the Mountain Parkway there, out toward Powell County, getting down into Lee County. Again, that might be a sprinkle at the most. Beyond that, though, it's just a cloudy day today. So we are fooling that it's been a chilly day today. Actually, I should say today, and then we do have a nice warm-up coming in toward the weekend. And I'll tell you, we got a nice day coming in for us tomorrow. We're talking temperatures, though. Look at the chill in the air. From the Kentucky Mezzanine, pick out your favorite town. West Liberty, Paintsville, Boonville, McKee, Whitley City, Somerset, Stanford, Liberty, all in the upper 40s. By the way, Black Mountain, so we're going 4,000 feet up. It's just above freezing. The site in Pine Mountain's a few thousand feet up, 2,800, I believe. It's sitting at 38, so you see the effect the elevation has as well. In Lexington, with the cloudy sky, we sit at 50. The air is dry, northwest wind at 9. 53 has been the high today. So the overall temperature pattern here, keep in mind our normal high sitting in the low 60s. We are below normal today, in fact, about 10 below normal. By the time we get you to tomorrow, okay, we are going to be near normal with that high of 61, and by the time Friday rolls in, you're seeing that warmer air making inroads our direction, so our normal high at that point is up to 62, and we'll be above it. In fact, should be pushing 70. A lot of cold air still sitting on the continent here, so we'll have to deal with that at some point. Temperatures tomorrow, again, we watch the cold air being pushed out, and by tomorrow, the latter part of the day should be right there in that 60-degree range. 70s not far away, and they're coming. Today, again, that overcast has been tenacious for us. That's what we were expecting. Western Kentucky's had sunshine. You get west high 65, and really not looking too bad today. But again, for us, it has been that overcast that continues streaming down from the north. We'll have to deal with that for a little while longer. Radar shows the big system headed off the east coast. By the way, that's going to turn into one heck of a nor'easter. But it'll be just far enough offshore that most of its effects will be minimal, though some pretty heavy waves, a lot of beach erosion up in New England. You see the rain coming down through Ohio into West Virginia and Pennsylvania. Again, we're just the very edge of that. High pressure, though, will eventually dominate our weather scene. So we continue through the night tonight, and as we do, we'll watch those overcast clouds peel away. Should be clear by the time we get your day started tomorrow. It'll be cold, though. By tomorrow, late day, a lot of sunshine, nice afternoon. We go then on into Friday. A few clouds may try and stream in, but any rain with those will hold off. It looks like at this point until late Saturday. And don't forget, online, we do have Bill's Weather 101 at home for you, so we can continue the learning as we continue to stay in place. Becoming partly cloudy tonight. It's crisp. Patchy frost out there. Overnight lows in the upper 30s. Most places won't see the frost, but some of the sheltered valleys might. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, just right for April. We'll see temperatures in the low 60s. We're going to the upper 60s on Friday, mostly sunny. More clouds around on Saturday, low 70s. A shower and thunderstorm chance on Sunday, and staying around that 70-degree mark. I'll be part of the at-home brigade with you, not at your house, Nancy, but at mine, coming up at 11 o'clock tonight.
Hey, that's pretty cool. I look forward to seeing how that works. And yeah, I miss you and miss all the folks there at LEX-18. We'll be together soon, hopefully. Thanks, Bill. Well, Kroger has announced a temporary hero bonus pay raise for their frontline employees. The temporary $2 an hour raise will be applied to hours worked from March 29th through April 18th. Now, this is in addition to another bonus that the company announced last week. That one-time bonus, which is $150 for part-time employees and $300 for full-time workers, will be paid out Friday. The grocery chain says it's added more than 30,000 new employees in just the past 2 weeks. Kroger joins Target and Amazon in increasing worker pay by $2 an hour temporarily. And starting Friday, get this, Costco will allow no more than 2 people to enter one of its stores on the same membership card. The chain says it's an attempt to limit the crowds and prevent the spread of the coronavirus. Previously, Costco members were able to bring up to 2 guests with them during each visit. The warehouse chain also announced earlier this week that it was changing its hours at most locations. Most stores will now close at 6:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. On Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, the store also has limited access to only customers aged 60 and older in an attempt to keep senior citizens safe during this pandemic. Home Depot will start limiting the number of people allowed inside its stores. 100 customers will now be allowed in at one time, and other customers will have to wait outside. The retailer is also asking employees to check their temperature before reporting to work. The company said it will cancel its spring promotions that typically drive foot traffic during its busiest season of the year. LEX-18 News will be right back.
Let's face it, clogged gutters do damage to your overhang and trim, your landscaping, your flower beds, your foundation. That's where we come in here at LeafGuard. LeafGuard, the only seamless one-piece rainwater management system with a clog-free guarantee. Take advantage of our spring blowout sale, 65% off labor, a bonus, a free leaf blower with purchase. And if you call now, we're going to double your gift from a $50 to a $100 restaurant.com gift card with your free estimate and gutter inspection.
I'm Tanya. Smoking damaged my heart so badly that I needed open heart surgery. Now I have a battery-operated heart pump installed inside of me. That's why I wear this. These are the batteries that keep me alive. My tip is, stop thinking this can only happen when you get old. My heart failure happened at 38.
You can quit. For free help, visit cdc.gov/tips.
While many of you work at home practicing your social distancing, the LEX-18 team is here in our second home, the Storm Tracker Weather Center. Because even in unusual times like these, we can't forget the threat that severe spring weather brings to each one of us. So take care of yourselves and each other, and the LEX-18 Storm Tracker Weather Team will keep our eyes on the skies, keeping you informed just as we always do. It's one more way you can count on LEX-18.
In partnership with ADA Heating and Air and Platinum Roofing.
It's always devastating to lose a loved one, but it's especially hard when your loved one is taken from you intentionally or because of someone else's negligence. I'm attorney Darrell Isaacs. If your loved one was killed in a car or truck accident and another party is at fault, you could be entitled to significant money damages. There are strict time limits to file a wrongful death claim, so please call Isaacs and Isaacs today. We've recovered over $1 billion for our clients, and we're ready to get your loved one the justice they deserve.
While many of you work at home practicing your social distancing, the LEX-18 team is here in our second home, the Storm Tracker Weather Center. Because even in unusual times like these, we can't forget the threat that severe spring weather brings to each one of us. So take care of yourselves and each other, and the LEX-18 Storm Tracker Weather Team will keep our eyes on the skies, keeping you informed just as we always do. It's one more way you can count on LEX-18.
in partnership with ADA Heating and Air and Platinum Roofing.
Attention cancer victims who use the weed killer Roundup. A federal jury unanimously found that Monsanto's popular weed killer Roundup was a substantial factor in causing cancer. You may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you or someone you love used Roundup and were diagnosed with cancer, call the number on your screen now. Don't wait. There may be time deadlines to file a claim.
Call 800-509-2405. That's 800-509-2405.
Welcome back. While much of the U.S. is on pause right now, many people are anxious to do something that will help them break up the monotony that naturally results from social distancing. Mike Wendland has 3 apps that will not only help you get outside, but learn a few things too.
The Sleep Score app tracks your sleep and shows when you sleep light, deep, and when you wake up. It uses sonar technology, so you only have to have your phone by your bedside for it to work. Free for iOS and Android with premium features available. Sleep Cycle provides analysis to help you get a good night's sleep and better overall health. It has an intelligent alarm clock designed to gently wake you up when you're in your lightest sleep phase in the morning. It also integrates with Apple Health, free for iOS and Android with premium features. NapBot is an automatic sleep tracking and analyzing app for your iOS and watchOS devices. It presents detailed analysis of the environment around you to understand how it affects your sleep quality, and it works with Apple Health. It's free for iOS with premium features available for purchase.
Are you thinking there may be a place on your smartphone for one of those apps, but you'd like to check it out a little bit more? Not a problem. Just go over to my PC Mike Tech blog. There's my address on your screen. I built in a direct link to everything you just saw. Till next time, I'm PC Mike Wendland for NBC News.
People are coming up with creative ways to visit loved ones in isolation due to social distancing. And that includes a thoughtful arborist in Ohio. Charlie Adams, the owner of Adams Tree Preservation, went out on a limb, so to speak, using a bucket truck to visit his mother. He generally takes her out to eat twice a week, but hasn't been able to see her because of restrictions prompted by the pandemic. So Adams improvised, extending the truck's boom to the height of the 3rd floor of his mother's assisted living home. He then called her and told her to come look out the window. Adams said he checked with the home first and they loved the idea. We're pretty sure his mom did too. That's nice. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again back here at 5 for LEX 18 News.